For last week, we started, last week was the second webinar in this month, the series that we're looking at personal development. So last week we were looking at self-leadership, and we talked a little bit about self-leadership, the tips, and how to also be good at leading ourselves. So maybe let's start from there and get to hear, what have you done differently this week, Lorraine? Have you implemented anything?
Yes, sorry for that. Yes, I have actually. This
Oh.
week I have been very intentional about reflection.
About reflection?
Yes, reflecting on my day, reflecting on, for example, my plans and what have you. So I hope to I hope to continue for a long time, because I've realized it's a good thing. Because most of the times we want to do things without thinking of consequences. So it's good to sit back, reflect on the things that you want to do, then proceed. Yeah.
Wow, great. Yeah, and it is true. We have to be intentional. For growth to occur, we must be intentional. And remember, we said change is very difficult, and that's why a lot of people don't do it. So for us, we need to be very intentional about our growth. If you're not growing, remember we said comfort zone, there is no success there. How about you, Cynthia? What did you pick and what were you able to implement?
I decided to be the one in control of my schedule rather than having my schedule control me. Because I have like 10 different organizations to think about every day. So I have to plan my time well and also make sure I don't get burnout.
Yeah. Wow, great. That is good. Yeah, so we need to continue doing something. One of the things that I have learned throughout my journey is that it's not really the amount of things that you do. It's those little small things that we sometimes would ignore, but those small things are the ones that make a difference. Saying that, yes, I will be taking a few minutes to reflect on my day, and you do it consistently, those are the things that compound to something big, and before you know it, you have already done it, and there will be change. People will start seeing the difference. So today we are looking at comfort. We had already said last week that there is usually no growth in the comfort zone. And a lot of people end up in the comfort zone because they think that it is too much. It's going to cost me too much to wake up early in the morning. It's going to cost me too much to go back to school. We are always having an excuse, one excuse after the other. And because of that, a lot of people have found themselves just stuck. I met a lady who came to me last week, but one, and she told me she's been in the same position for like 9 years, and she's just feeling stuck. It's like her mind is not even thinking. She gets to work, just does her work and goes back. But now I think something triggered her, and I asked her, what is this that triggered you that now you're thinking you're stuck? It's been 9 years, you've not been thinking that way. And she told me the reality has hit her, because she's realized now she's in her 50s and retirement is beckoning. And she asked herself, what will I be doing? And she's now in a panic mood. So sometimes when you're in that comfort zone, you don't realize what you're losing, and you don't realize how much life could be different if only you took a different turn. So that is what we'll be looking at today. And we will be looking at those hidden costs that comfort, the cost of comfort. What does it cost you in terms of personal growth? That is what we are dealing with this week. And so one of the things that is quite glaring is actually growth. When you get yourself into the comfort zone and you don't want to be there, life may feel fine, you may be okay, you may be working, you may be earning, probably even earning good money. But because you're not growing, one day you will come to realize that yenyewe, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And I think that is where this friend of mine found herself, and she realized that she has actually missed a lot. Because when we grow, when we make a commitment to grow, we will notice there is a change. But growth by itself, and that is why a lot of people don't pursue it, it requires challenge. You have to challenge yourself. You have to learn. You have to keep adapting. But when you stay in the familiar, it feels easy. And because you don't want to take that responsibility, it may feel like too much effort, then you will definitely not develop even something that you would have developed, even a new skill. You would have just learned a new skill. Now that will not happen because you chose the comfort zone. So that now becomes a cost. It's something that you have lost. It's a cost that you have, that it has cost you. Comfort has cost you learning. It has cost you a new skill. Sorry, Cynthia, there's someone there waiting to join, but it is okay.
Yeah, I am admitting.
Okay, sawa, thank you. So we have to be conscious of that yes, comfort may feel easy. It may feel like a nice thing, but we must always ask ourselves, what is it costing me? If I am not learning, what is it costing me? That's number one. Number two, when you're in a comfort zone, you tend to be in a place of complacency. It creates complacency. Success can become a trap as well. I'm sure you have found someone who got successful and they got so comfortable. They felt, wow, they have arrived. And because things are going on well, they don't feel the need or the urgency to improve. And so when you get to that point where you are in a comfort zone, that will definitely cost you, because then it means that you are going to experience very slow progress. Complacency for you now will replace curiosity. And when there is no curiosity, it means you may not be learning. And when you're not learning, remember what we said, you will get to a point where you feel stuck. So we must be very wary of comfort, because comfort is actually very expensive. Very expensive. When people think about the cost of maybe developing yourself, we always say, I think there is a saying that people say, if you don't, let me put that off. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the cost of ignorance. If you don't want to learn, try ignorance. It becomes difficult. So comfort, as we said last time, is not a place that we want to be. If you're desiring success, you will not find it in the comfort zone. You must move. So the danger is usually not failure. The danger is settling. Yes, it is okay. You may try to do something and fail, but we always say failure is the other side of success. So you must try something. When you fail, get up, keep going, keep moving, because then you will be learning something. There is progress. Where there is progress, it is always better than where you are in comfort. So we said the first one, for those who have joined us a little late, we say that comfort reduces your growth. And where there is no growth, then it means that that cost is too much. When you're not learning anything, when you're not challenging yourself, when you are just there, it is not a good place to be. And number two, we say that comfort creates complacency. And when complacency replaces curiosity, then it means that you are just there. You don't have urgency to improve. And now, number three, we say that comfort weakens your resilience. Why is that? Usually, we say that people usually get stronger when they're overcoming difficulties. I remember reading something just in the last couple of weeks when we have experienced this high school unrest. And someone said that there was a post that was going around saying that when you removed all these obstacles, when you removed all the challenges and you brought in comfort, that is what has happened. So we have nurtured young people who are very delicate. They have not experienced challenges. They haven't been through difficult situations. So they did not develop the resilience muscle. Just as we say that you develop your muscle by exercising it, it is important to sometimes face those challenges or obstacles so that you develop that muscle. So for us, we say that when we avoid the discomfort, we miss opportunities. To build resilience, we miss opportunities to develop our emotional intelligence. And of course, it denies us the opportunity to solve problems, problem solving, because if you're not encountering any challenge, then chances are that you will not develop that muscle of problem solving because everything is okay. Everything is comfortable. You are in the comfort zone. So it denies you so much. There is so much that you actually lose than gain when you are in a comfort zone. The other one, number 4, is that it limits your opportunities. And I think for people who are in employment, this becomes very real. When you are in a comfort zone, you are okay, you feel that you are okay, you come to work, you do your work well, you probably are also seeing you're getting a little few results. But the place where you start now finding a challenge is when you start applying for maybe a promotion. That is when someone will realize, oh, okay, we can't see anything else that you have done since you joined our organization. You just have the papers that you came in with, and this is probably 5 years or more down the line. So that way you end up missing the opportunity. There are people who keep thinking, I'm okay, I want to start a business, but you're so comfortable. You feel like where you are, you're okay. And so you miss that opportunity. Probably that business was, you were at the right time then. So when you miss that opportunity because maybe where you are, maybe in employment, you're feeling that you are okay, that opportunity will just go by. When there are people who avoid even having these difficult conversations in the office or even at work. Why? Because you want the status quo, you don't want to rattle the feathers, you don't want to be the one to be called the one who always rocks the boat. But that comfort does not help. Later on, you will find that it will come to haunt you because it is true, it is protecting you. Maybe you are thinking it is protecting you from risk, but it also prevents you from reaching to your next level. So when you are in the comfort zone, you may not see it, but years later, when you look back, you will actually realize that you lost so many opportunities. And I don't think that is usually a good place for you to find yourself in. So ensure that you are not living in the comfort zone, because then there is so much that you lose other than gain. And at this point, I want to pause for a moment and just hear the response from the people as I welcome Nancy and Raban. Are we in the comfort zone? Tumetoka kwa comfort zone, or where are we? I want to hear some experiences.
Alice, I have something to share on comfort zone.
Yes.
I have to admit that there was a time when I was extremely comfortable. So I stayed in this job for 5 years. And of course, looking back, I can admit that I did lose a lot of opportunities. I was very comfortable with the pay, very comfortable with how everything was going on, that I didn't realize in that moment that I was losing anything until I left there. So now when I sit back and look at where I was, I did lose a lot of opportunities, and of course, it did limit my growth to some extent. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Rolene, for sharing. And that is so true. I don't know whether you have ever heard me share how I worked in an organization for 5 years. I had grown to a position of a sales manager. And then just one morning, with no notice, nothing, I got fired. And for me, what really made me mad is not being fired. Of course, it felt very bad. But to realize that I was actually in a comfort zone. I was okay. After all, you have even gotten a promotion. Then I forgot myself. I didn't do anything to develop myself. And for me, that was the pain that I felt. I realized it was too much a cost to pay. And that was where my journey for personal growth started. So yes, the comfort zone, sometimes you may feel okay, and especially when you're working, the pay is okay. And only later will you realize the opportunities that you miss, because you may not even be seeing other opportunities out there because you're comfortable, you are okay. So it's not really a very good place to find yourself in. So thank you, Lorraine, for sharing that. Anyone else who would want to share something? Let's hear a little more before we continue. You guys, you have no experience?
My experience is on not being comfortable. So I
Or
always
you've not been comfortable.
I've never been comfortable. Like my first ever 9 to 5 job was as a HR manager. So like I left school 2019 and in 2020 was thrown into the deep end as a HR manager. So 2020 to 2021, I resigned 1 year, 8 months later. And that was my first and last 9 to 5 job. So you see, I have never been comfortable. After that, I decided to launch my own business.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And it is good when you discover that early, because then you realize there is no limit for you. Nobody is putting a limit for you. Yes, Nancy has given you very many claps. I would want to hear from Nancy.
Thanks, Nancy.
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
I think I've been in the comfort zone for the longest, and so I'm launching, or I'm realizing I need to do a lot more on the personal growth, and that's why when I saw this webinar, I logged in. In the process of seeking growth, there's a lot of discomfort, and at times I find myself looking back and I'm like, is it really worth trying to go into a new space, or I just go back to what I'm familiar with? I must say what is familiar is very comfortable. But at the same time, I'm looking at, as you've indicated, Alice, that comfort is very expensive. I ask myself, you'll go back there, you'll be comfortable, but then what next? So I'm happy to hear. And I've always been reminding myself, remember, growth has to come with some pain. And the things that I usually tell myself is like, when you're growing your molars, it's never that comfortable, but they have to grow anyway. Or when a baby starting to walk, they'll fall, they'll bruise their knees, they'll get hurt here and there, but that doesn't mean they stop trying until they walk and run. So be uncomfortable to be comfortable. So thank you.
Wow, great. What do you do, Nancy?
I'm a pharmaceutical technologist. I work in the hospital, and I'm transitioning from pharmacy practice into counseling. So I've been finding that a bit of a challenge, but I like the progress.
Wow, great. This is Nancy Owiti.
Yes, I thought you had identified me.
No, the voice, I thought the voice sounds a bit familiar. But yes, you have not you haven't put your camera on, so I couldn't tell whether it was you, but at least the voice I could guess it was you. Karibu sana, that is true. There is usually no success in the comfort zone. You have to pay for something. It must cost you something. Great. Raban, karibu sana. Maybe you can just say hi to us.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name
Hi.
is Raban, and this is the first time being here, but thank you so much for welcoming me. And I'm ready to learn a lot. So, on something, maybe I can add a few pointers and say that you see, when you're comfortable, I think you accumulate a lot of regret. And I might not regret the risks that I took, but you'll regret the chances that you missed. Yeah, that the comfort zone often changes today's peace for tomorrow's, that situation of what if this had happened? What if I did this? So maybe, yeah. And also, I feel like if you overcome a lot of challenges, then you build a lot of confidence because you're used to overcoming a lot of challenges. So the less you stretch yourself, the fewer chances you have to prove to yourself that you can handle all the difficult situations. Yeah, so that's all I had to contribute right now. But otherwise, thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much. Actually, it's like you read my notes. It's like you read my notes, because the next point that I have is actually regret. And there are so many people who at the end of their life, they have regrets, not of things they did, but of things they never did, because they don't know whether those things would have succeeded or not. So the cost of regret, I think it is the worst cost that you can ever incur. So if you're not growing, or if you're still in the comfort zone, the question that you need to keep asking yourself, what am I missing? What is that opportunity cost that I am incurring? What am I losing by not going out to try something? So regret, the cost of regret, it can be so painful for a lot of people. Because remember, when you have lost time, yes, you may try to redeem, but there is no way you will be able to regain that time. Once time is gone, it's gone. Yes, you can try to do something, but that time, the truth of the matter is, it is gone, and it is gone forever. So there is no need for us to get there. We need to just wake up, start doing what we need to do. If it is learning something new that you need to learn. If it is telling somebody something that you feel you need to tell them, just tell them. Because that comfort will cost you more. We would rather have the temporary discomfort. Of course, it is usually painful, but it is less painful than you wondering, what if I have tried this? What if I had done this? That is more painful. So let us be people of courage. Let's take courage. Let's move forward. Let's be intentional. Let's be disciplined, because you can't engage in personal growth without discipline. And I think that is where a lot of us drop the ball, because discipline is not easy. It's painful in the moment. But if only we could be disciplined and endure that pain of discipline, then we'll be able to reap the fruits of the work that we have put in. So it is okay. We know and we accept that discipline is going to be painful, but it is also good for us to know that whatever we are looking forward to, like now for my sister Nancy here, the cost of taking yourself back to school so that you can do something different, it is painful for now, but it is going to pay in the long run, because then you probably be doing something that you love doing. If you want, and when you look back, you will say, oh, I thank God that I did this. Instead of looking back and thinking, I wish I had actually gone back to school. I wish I had taken that step. I wish I had taken that step to leave employment early. I wish I had taken that opportunity to start that business early. That regret, you don't want to live in that kind of a situation where you're just looking back with pain and regret. So because we have been dealing with the issue of personal growth and also relating it to leadership, how does that look like? Because this is actually part of self-leadership. When you take initiative to do something, when you take initiative to grow, to make that deliberate decision to grow intentionally, you're actually leading yourself. And remember last week when we talked about self-leadership, we said you cannot lead others until you have led yourself. So this is personal, the same thing. Comfort is going to deny you that opportunity to self-lead yourself, to develop yourself. And even if you're in a position of leadership, what we keep saying, if you're not growing, then there is a point where you will not take your team. And your team will also be able to read through, they will see through you that there is something that is lacking. You're not developing yourself, you're not growing yourself. So self-leaders, they understand that comfort is a good place to rest, but it is not a good place to live. You don't want to live in the comfort zone. You can take a little break there, relax, take a rest, but know that that is not the place for you to live. So it is a good place to take a pause. It is a good place to relax, but it is not a good place to live. So you must always remind yourself that when you find yourself in a comfort zone, ask yourself, what am I giving away? Because there must be a next stage. There must be something that you're giving away when you are in the comfort zone. So as a leader, you have to intentionally choose growth over ease. Ease is what comes easy. It is the comfort, but you must always choose growth. And especially when you are a leader, because you cannot demand others to develop themselves when you're actually not doing it yourself. It will not be right. So we must be people who choose discipline over convenience. Many times, comfort zone is very convenient, and that is why people relax. That is why people feel, wow, this is good. But as a leader, you must always choose discipline. Discipline is going to be hard. Discipline is going to be inconvenient, because sometimes you may be doing something that is completely different from what the people around you expect you to do or to behave at that time. And I wanted to tell you that when you embark on the journey of personal growth, it can be a lonely journey, because a lot of people, and I want you to take note around the people around you, many times they are in the comfort zone. They don't want to take a risk. They don't want to take that personal initiative to develop themselves. But when they see you developing yourself, they will start wondering. Quite a number of them may try to even discourage you. They may start asking you, why do you have to even go back to school? What is it for? What are you going to do with that certificate when you get it? So those are meant to discourage you so that you can join them in the comfort zone. So if you're not keen or careful, people can dissuade you. People can cause you not to go there. Some may not tell you outrightly not to go, but they will just make the comfort zone so comfortable that you may be tempted to stick there and to hang around there. But always remind yourself, it is a good place to rest, but it is not a good place to live in. So leaders, good leaders also, they choose learning over certainty. You don't want to be found always that everything is just comfortable. Remember, we said when you're faced with a challenge, that is how you learn. When you have to solve a problem, that is how you develop that resilience. But when that is not there, when everything is cool, calm, and collected, then there is no learning that will take place. So for you as a leader, you must be intentional, you must be deliberate, that you will learn, you will choose learning over certainty. And of course, all these things will take courage. When you're not courageous as a leader, as someone who is determined to embark on your self-development journey, chances are that you will choose comfort. If you lack courage, trust me, you will keep procrastinating, you will keep looking for excuses, and before you know it, time has passed. So as a leader, you must always be cognizant of that fact, that it will take courage. It takes courage for someone to leave a good pay to go out and employ yourself when there is no guarantee of a pay. You have to keep working hard to look for that extra shilling. And so it takes courage. We actually say that entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. The business is not for the faint-hearted, because there are days you will not have the money. What do? So you have to always make that choice as a leader. You
Actually,
have to choose courage over comfort.
I'd like to add on that point. When I resigned, I did not have a plan. Like I can't say I had savings. No, I did not have savings. But I knew that tomorrow, when I sat on that desk on that day, I knew that tomorrow I cannot be doing the same thing. So I just wrote my resignation letter and left without a plan. So it is scary. Oh my God, it is so scary. But things work out. Things just happen. Like I've just realized that in life, once you take the first step and you're intentional about the vision you have for yourself, you'll just find that you'll meet the right people, you'll get the right opportunities that will, forward your vision. So there's a lot of fear when you start, like it's paralyzing, but you find your way as you go. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. And thank you for sharing that. Of course, it is very scary. The reason why many people are in the comfort zone is because of that uncertainty. A lot of people want to be assured, oh, my salary, my house rent will be paid. Oh, my child will go to school. Oh, I have food on the table. That certainty has made a lot of people remain in a comfort zone. But stepping out, taking the courage to step out, it's not for the faint-hearted, but it pays eventually. This is my 5th year out of employment. I have not gone hungry. Of course, it has not been easy. It has been tough, but I had to make that decision to get out of the comfort zone because I knew without a shadow of a doubt that whatever I want to do, I will not be able to do it when I am in employment. So there has to be that initial decision. When you make that decision, for you hadn't worked for long, so you may not have had savings. When we now talk to people who are in employment, we tell them you can plan for your exit. You don't have to work and get to a point you have been in employment for 10 years. And then when you leave or you are asked to leave, life becomes unbearable. You can actually plan, and you start planning early so that by the time you get to make that decision, and maybe that will be good for you, Nancy, who is planning to exit, make sure that you have a little something, that you're not missing food for the following day because you left work today. No, that will not be very nice. But you need to plan. As you planning your exit, also ask yourself, how am I going to survive? But let that not pull you back. Let it not hold you back. There are many people who have succeeded. You have just heard the story of this girl, and she was a mother, isn't it? It's not that you didn't have responsibility.
Yeah, I'm the mom, and I was also paying my mom's rent. So It was a
Yeah.
lot, and my kids' school fees.
Yeah. But you are able to.
Yeah.
Welcome, Ruth. She has been struggling to join
Yeah,
us.
Ruth, what's going on today? Like I've tried to admit you so many times and it's not going through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been trying since 8:15.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Sorry, Sana, don't worry. You will get the
You,
recording because now we are
yeah.
almost coming to the tail end, but we are glad to see you.
Good to see you and hear from you guys too.
Yes. So any comments? We were talking about the cost of comfort, being in the comfort zone. And maybe just to let me wrap it up for Ruth, we talked about 5 things, what comfort does to you. And we say that comfort reduces your growth because then you're always scared you're not learning and you're not developing the resilience muscle. We say that comfort creates complacency. When it creates complacency, it replaces that your curiosity with complacency. And when there is no curiosity, then it means that you're not learning anything new, meaning that your progress is going to be limited. Then we said that comfort weakens your resilience. When you're in a comfort zone, then you deny yourself the opportunity to face challenges or obstacles, which means that your problem-solving abilities are going to be limited. You will not develop your emotional intelligence. You will not develop perseverance because you did not get that opportunity because you're in a comfort zone. Then we also say that comfort limits your opportunities. There are many people who have been passed by promotion. Maybe you were passed by a business opportunity that came along because you're not ready or you felt you were so comfortable wherever you are. And that is not a good thing. And finally, we say that comfort can lead to regret, looking back at things that you wish you had done. And we said that is also a very expensive way. You do not want to be there. And we said as leaders, we need to be intentional about the choices that we make every day. And you must always choose growth over a comfortable life. You must always choose discipline over convenience. You must always choose learning over certainty, because when everything is certain, then you will not be able to learn. But you must also choose courage over comfort. So that is where we have come to. And I had asked whether there are any reactions, anything that you have thought of as we were talking, or you probably identified an area or a time when you are in a comfort zone, like what Lorraine shared with us. Any comments as we wind up?
Alice, mine is more of a question.
Yes.
Do you think sometimes, I don't know how to put this one, do you think sometimes employers, in quotes, trap us? By trapping, I mean, for example, they'll pay you on time. They will make sure that we give you that small increment. They'll make sure that maybe you're promoted after, of course, several years. And now in your mind, you go like, of course, you're getting everything. You're paying your bills on time. You're taking your kids to school. Then what more do I need? They sometimes trap us in quotes.
I want to hear that response from other people, the other people. Let's
For me,
hear.
what I can say, what I can say, Unana, in this life, everything that you're doing or not doing, inakwanga tu ndani yako. Like there's this inaitwa sema, if you know factor inside you as the self. Unajuanga, like if you're giving below minimum, if you're not following hiyo kitu yenye passion yako yenye unataka kufanya, but uko hapo unajipatia excuses, I cannot do this because of this and that and that. Hiyo tu, that quiet voice inside you, hiyo tu hiyo tu ndo the loudest thing you should be listening to in this life. It will always guide you. Utajua tu like you're not doing your best. Sasa
Exactly.
tusiblame employers.
Wacha tusikie wengine. Nancy, your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you. Mine actually was to tie to what Lorraine has asked. And I'm asking myself, is it really the employer or is it you also not having identified? I like what I've not gotten her name. The other speaker said
Cynthia.
Cynthia. I like what
Cynthia.
Cynthia has mentioned about identifying your passion. So I'm asking myself, at times, is it because you're there and you've not identified what makes you be sleepless? Because there is moving, and I'll use myself as an example. As I mentioned, I'm in pharmacy practice, and I've never desired at all, or even, I don't know, maybe it's misconception or something, but I've never desired owning my own pharmacy. So that would not be, maybe people are like, you've worked for so long, you needed to own your own pharmacy, but it's not something that is in me or whatever. So short stories, is it that I've not identified what I like that would make me be uncomfortable, be sleepless, and just be seeing how I'm building it? Or is it the employer tying me? Because I tend to be on that side where I feel I can't blame it on the employer, but it is me not having identified something that can cause me to wake up and say, you know what, I'm going after this, whatever it will take to tajo kombele. And so as you're trying to identify, what is it that I like? And as I mentioned, as I transition to counseling, it's something that has just been sitting at the back of my mind and all that. Then I'm like, okay, it might not look so clear, but give it a shot. If it works well and good, if it is not really what you were looking for, at least you tried. So is it the employer or myself?
Wow, I like the conversations. I like the discussions. Ruth, you want to changia?
For me, what I can say, it's actually an individual choice. It's you who's chosen to remain where you are. It's not your employer. At the end of the day, all be accountable for what we did with our lives, whether we chose to see our gifts and talents or whether we chose to use them. So it's back to you as an individual. Is that what God is calling you to at that moment? Because we have different seasons of life. It's not that you'll be employed forever because that's not your father's company or your company. But if it is your company, you know it's yours until the day you say, I'm tired. But if God has got you in employment for 5 years and tells you get up and go, and you've decided, me, I'm scared of the waters out there, Sitoki, you will answer for your choices. It's always back to you as an individual. It's never the employer. In fact, that employer who pays you on time is a very good employer. They pay you on time, they give you salary increments. I mean, that one is to be commended. You know, they should be more like that. You know, the world would be a better place. At the end of the day, when you reach the place of you're fed up of where you are, whether you're being paid properly or not, then you will know it's time to leave. No one will tell you. Yourself.
Again, the small voice coming. Are you listening to your small voice? Laban, tell us, what do you have to say?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, so I'm just trying to think and wrap my head around the employer who is the ideal employer, that they're paying you on time. And therefore, if you're not careful enough, I would tend to believe this is a personal issue, because if you're not careful enough, then you're gonna go around and the employer is doing their rightful duties, that is paying you on time, giving you increments on time. But if you're not careful, then you'll get into a loop where you spend everything because you're comfortable. You know the next paycheck is gonna be on maybe 16th, for example. You know the next paycheck definitely, because this is the ideal employer who gives you the best, who doesn't disappoint. So you're caught up in that loop where you know hata nikitumia vibaya
si bado nitapata ya next month on this day. And now I think when it comes to that issue, it's about them now asking themselves, is this the way I want to live? Is this the way I want to do my thing? Am I called to be employed until the retirement age? And if they listen to their inner voice, then if their inner voice says no, the best thing is to quit and actually look for the exit strategy that you talked about earlier. Yeah, so that is my thought around it. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong. So maybe you can correct on that.
There is no right or wrong answer in this class. And I like that everybody has actually said, yes, it takes a personal responsibility. The employer can't tell you to leave. See, you're building his business. He's living his life. He's doing what he believes he's called to do. So he's fine. I remember it's the late Dr. Mouse Mandro who kept saying that a paycheck is I can't remember the term he would use, but it is what you are paid by the employer to kill your dream. That paycheck is actually what keeps many people from pursuing their dreams, because it is so enticing. It is the comfort zone that we are talking about. It's the certainty that I have a salary tomorrow, so everything is going to be okay. But what does that do to you at the end of the day? So the employer cannot tell you to go. The employer is just doing his bit. He's growing his business. He's growing himself. So it is for you and I to ask ourselves, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? And I am happy that that has come out. So there is no harm in you trying. Of course, the initial stages are going to be difficult when you're making that plunge, when you're making that difficult decision. But you need to always remember that it is a better price to pay now than to pay it later. So pay it forward. That's what my coach tells us. Pay it forward. So we usually say that comfort will give us convenience today. It is true. When you're in a comfort zone, if it's that employment, the salary is coming regularly, it gives you that convenience for today. But growth is what gives you the possibilities tomorrow. It gives us what is possible. It shows you what could be possible for you. So the hidden cost of comfort is the person we could have become if we had been willing to stretch ourselves. Can you imagine knowing that I could have become anything I wanted to become, but because of that convenience, that comfort, I did not go out to get it? I think that pain of regret, the cost of regret there will be too high. Now, I want to leave you with one question. This is a reflection question. What opportunity or skill or goal have you been postponing because staying comfortable feels easier right now? Mjiangalie tuone, what is that comfort? What is that? Either an opportunity, a skill, or a goal that you have been postponing because staying where you are, the comfortable place, feels easier right now. And that brings us to the end of today's class.